Good day and welcome to the Pablo and Phoenix show. I'm Phoenix and Pablo's here too.
Hey, how's it
Uh,
going, everybody?
we're doing great, man. Yeah. Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about the concept that women keep bringing to everybody's attention that there's no good men anymore, and it makes good men scratch their head, going, "What are you talking about?" There's a lot of good men around, and I think I have a few really good suggestions on why there's no good men anymore for women. And I think that women aren't going to give a shit about that answer because that's just the way women are. But I think for guys, it might help guys understand maybe why there's no more good men. So off the ball or off the bat here, I wanted to see what Pablo's opinion is of it. Why why do you think there's no more good men according to women?
Oh, there's no more good men because they're really like there's not very many real men out there. And that's my honest opinion, me included. I'm working on that. There's been a paradigm shift. So we've been demasculated, been told to demasculate ourselves. Put women on pedestals, and women have all the power, right? Essentially, in a relationship nowadays, they're told to be independent, strong, and all this fun stuff. But it really goes against their biological programming, and I think that's why they can't find a real man. They can't find a good man because men are being demasculated by society, and the women are trying to take the role of leaders, and they're just not biologically programmed to do so. And I know it sounds sexist, it sounds chauvinistic, and I know there's going to be a lot of women that will chime in and say, "You're absolutely wrong." And that's like, no, I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's this whole feminist movement has had a lot of impact on why other women are like, I can't find a good guy out there. Well, you can find a good guy, but there's chances are he was demasculated and you've lost all attraction to him and then you kicked him to the curb. Chances are most women who say they can't find a good man have already had one or two or more good men in their lives and they threw them away because they just didn't feel attraction to them. And that's a big one too. So that's my opinion on it, and we could absolutely go into it because this is a great subject.
Yeah, well, I think I fully agree. I think there's a couple other important ones in there. One of the really important ones is I think women understand that there's good guys out there, and I think sometimes whether they're thinking about it consciously or not, I think they understand that they're not attracted to these guys, and I think sometimes it gets to them. But women don't like to take accountability. So what happens is it's easier for a woman to say that, yeah, there's no more good men than question why she's not attracted to good men anymore. That's a first part. So instead of saying, you know what, I'm not attracted to good men anymore. What the hell is wrong with me? It is, oh, he's not a good guy. So I'm not attracted. It's his fault. I don't want to take accountability for not being attracted to this guy. That's one piece of that puzzle. I think there's another piece of the puzzle,
Hmm,
which is women who think. I got two more things I just want to throw out there, and then we can discuss them all. Women who think that
sure.
they're tens when they're not tens. So the problem is women get in their head that I'm a 10, I deserve a 10 guy, but they're really like a 3 without makeup on, and then maybe a 5 or 6 with makeup on. They think they're a 10, so their mind is set that unless I get that 10 guy, that's that whole six-figure guy who's really nice and all this stuff, right? So I think
Hmm.
there's a disconnect there. And I think the final disconnect, if I can remember what it was, so there was the accountability was one of them. There was the one that you said, that was one of the ones I was already thinking about anyways, the whole what they're attracted to. There's the mislabel between what quality they're looking for. And I remember what I was going to say. So some will say, well, guys are the same, right? Guys, it's like, no, guys aren't the same because although I say recently that, well, I can't trust women anymore and all women are nuts these days, that is a generalization. If there's good girls out there that I'm just not attracted to physically, That's my problem. It's my problem that some really good girls are out there that I'm not attracted to physically, but I'm not going to put on a show and pretend. And girls are going to call me shallow or call somebody shallow, but it's like, no, I'm just being honest. If I'm not attracted to a woman, you're not shallow if you've got the guts to say you're not attracted to this woman. Like, you're not. Would you rather you pretend and then nothing work out? But anyways, that's what I mean with the women is they don't want to take accountability and say that, yeah, there's a lot of great guys out there that we could be with, but they're not at our special standard. And they're not at our special standard that we're looking for. So yeah, there's no more good men because it's easier for us to admit that.
Okay. You all right? That's an interesting point of view. Um, Now let's start with accountability. You're saying women don't hold themselves accountable. I don't think it really, as men, I don't think it matters whether they hold themselves accountable or not. We should be holding ourselves accountable. Um, we need to be, we should be making ourselves as attractive as possible. Now, I'm not saying we go and get our, six pack abs and, we all get like super filthy rich and, like it's not like the traditional things. It's not like the Women's Network movies out there. Okay, you're not going to be those guys because those guys aren't actually masculine at all. They're just a fantasy, right? What I'm advocating for is you need to take responsibility, or us as men, we need to take responsibility as being, as fulfilling our roles as men. We need to be masculine above everything else, right? We need to know what we want and go after it. We don't make apologies. We stick to the game plan. We take on responsibility. We do the hard work. We do the heavy lifting because that's what we're programmed to do. We're the providers and the protectors. You need to have amazing confidence. You need to have charisma. You need to be successful. Yes, you need to be, success though is not like you need to be Jeff Bezos and all that. Of course, that certainly helps if you're a billionaire. But I mean, you need to be able to provide. You need to be responsible. You need to be actually kind and caring is a thing. That's not a weakness. Kind and caring is actually a good thing. But don't be a simp, which is you submit to everything because you're afraid to rock the boat with people. You have to be your own man. You gotta be confident in who you are, and that's what women actually are looking for. I think women aren't finding that because we're being told to allow women to take control. And that's just wrong. Because really in the hierarchy of things, male and female dynamic, it's males just slightly above or the female because the male has to lead. That's just the way it always has been. And we're trying to change that, but change um, we can't change instinct. That's an instinct. Women will have the instinct to follow a man who is strong, a strong leader. That is their biological program, and they want to bear children for that man because that will mean their offspring has the best chance of survival because he has strong genes. And if she's attractive, that means she's got strong genes, right? Good body, like us men, we're attracted to the physicals of a woman. If she has a great body, a great package, beautiful face, all the markers that we're looking for. She looks fertile. She looks like she'll bear good children. That's essentially what it comes down to. So in matters of accountability, whether the women want to hold themselves accountable or not, it doesn't matter to me anymore. I used to think that way. I used to think, oh man, fuck women, fuck them all, like they're just all fucking nuts today, da 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 da. But you know what? What it's coming down to now is no. Fuck me. I should be doing better. I should be killing myself, getting better. I should be working on my traumas. I should be figuring out what it has to do to be the top tier male. Because when you're a top tier male, you have your pick. Girls want you. They all want you. And you have your pick. You can say, sorry, honey, you're not living up to my standard. Get out. You have the ability to do that. Never ever think that a woman is the one. That's another thing that we've been taught. Oh, she's the one. The one? No, there's thousands, thousands upon thousands. And I'm talking top 10 women, like tens, lots of tens out there. And if you can be that guy who's just unbelievably confident and unbelievably masculine, you can have her. You can have any of them. You can have the supermodels because you won't put up with their bullshit because you know when they start acting out of line, you just to set them to the curb and get another one. So that to me, honestly, that's accountability. Is it starts with us. I don't give a shit what the women do to make themselves accountable. They're gonna leave you if they don't like you. If you're not doing the things that they need you to do as a man, they're going to find someone else to do it. I think that's the bottom line. And there are, yes, I understand that there are women who are super picky that have gotten rid of really good men, and they probably regret it because you know what? Good men, like, well, like I'll say it, Phoenix, you and I are good men. We may not be the most confident right now. We may not be the most correct, charismatic and all that because we are going through our own shit right now. But I tell you right now, if once we figure this out, because we will figure it out, we're going to be top tier men, and the women are just going to line up wanting to be with us. That is just what I see biologically. Like they just won't be able to ignore it. But if a woman automatically just says, "I'm just not happy with you," either she's got some major mental issues, which do exist, or you're just not pulling your weight, masculinity wise. And I think that's something we need to discuss. I don't want to buy into that. Well, it's all the women's fault. It's women's fault. There are bad women out there, but if we're good men, if we're like top tier males, we shouldn't matter. We should just move on. Now I understand there's different dynamics here. We're talking about women can't finding good men who are not in a relationship right now, who do not have kids with a man right now. Like that needs to be very specific, right? Because if you're talking women can't find men, are these women with kids? Are these women in relationships that can't find men? What are we talking about? Just single guys, single girls, or people with baggage trying to find other people? That is important because if we're talking just a guy and a girl, if she says she can't find a good guy out there, she's full of shit. There's a lot of good guys out there. But she's not finding the masculine guy that she wants, the guy that can take control, the guy that can not take control, take the lead is the better term, and really make her juices flow. That's what I think of the whole accountability thing. Love to hear what you want to say about that one, Phoenix.
Well, I think it was a little bit off topic. The last little part, I guess. I mean, we never usually pre-talk about it. I was more just talking specifically about the concept that they say about how there's no good men. So not about how relationships work. You laid it out great. But my what I meant when I said accountability is that when they make broad statements like there's no good men, right, anymore, they make those kind of statements. What I mean is the reason why I believe they make that statement in a lot of cases is because it makes them not look like the bad guy. So if you got a great person, a great guy, and you see that great guy get turned away, but then that girl goes and tells her friends, "Oh, he was a loser. He wasn't a good guy. He was a real like jerk, whatever it was." And
Hmm.
it's like rather than taking accountability and saying, "Hey, like I really screwed up on this one. The guy actually wasn't a jerk. I just wasn't interested in him. And what's wrong with me? Maybe I should rethink my values." Right. So basically, that's kind of what I meant when I said accountability. I get what you're saying. Like, yes, men need to be accountable if they're not getting anywhere. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is weird is that girls these days with this strong independent, I'm an independent woman trying to get a guy when she's equal to half of the playing field, if not higher up. So, I mean, I see women, oh, they make these videos. I got a house, I got a car, and I still can't get a man. What is wrong with men? Like, they don't even have to work hard. And it's like, I think to myself, good for you. You're an adult. Wow. You're able to achieve things that most adults can achieve, right? But
I just
the problem is
yeah.
you're but it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't make that up. That was in a video I saw. I thought it was
No,
funny.
no, I get it. I just find that
And
funny. That's hilarious.
Well, but it's true though, is that you're
Yeah.
supposed to give them a fanfare because they're a strong, independent woman. But here's
Yeah.
my favorite part: is when a strong, independent woman says, "Why am I alone?" Well, you're a strong, independent woman. There, independent is by yourself. You're going to be by yourself if you're a strong, independent woman, because men are not going to want to be with a strong, independent woman. Men do not want to meet equals when it comes to a relationship. Men want to be there to provide. That's what the man's duty is. And
Mhm.
a woman's duty generally is to support that man, take care of that man while that man does everything else. But nowadays, because of this mentality of strong, independent women, now you've got guys and girls competing for who's better every time there's a relationship. Oh, I
Yeah.
make more money than you. Oh, now there's a fight, right? Where in reality, the woman should be complimenting, like, or be complimentative towards the guy, and the guy is the one who might provide. The woman is there to compliment, and they work as a team. But now you've got people who are competing with each other. And I mean,
Mhm.
I thought about it just today. That's why there's not two presidents of the United States. There's a president and a vice president. It's the same as a relationship. There's got
Yeah.
to be one president and there's got to be one vice president. You can't both be equal. And traditionally, and everybody's just, well, that's right, that's right, it was traditional. Traditionally, men are the provider, men are the leader. They're just that one little step up because of some of the things. Oh, well, what can a guy do? Well, guy does a lot of stuff. Guys do a lot of jobs. Guys do a lot of things. I actually watched a funny clip the other day with that girl Pearl there that you like too. And it was funny
Mhm.
because this feministic woman's on there. I mean, I assume she was criticizing her for her beliefs, and it was funny because Pearl's like, well, I think you should go get a job building a building or go get a job on an oil rig. And this girl goes, well, I don't think I'm built to do that. Oh, and then she goes, and then she says to Pearl, I mean, maybe you are built to do that. Like as some insult because she's a bigger girl, like tall or whatever. But it was
Mhm.
funny because it's like, that's the exact point.
Yeah.
Because a
Yeah.
girl's not built to do it. Guys aren't built to give birth. But you know what? No guy is going to say, oh, well, I'm as awesome as a woman because I give birth. No, but that's a completely different thing. And women walking
Yeah.
around saying, well, gee, we don't need men. Why are men around? Well, guess what, lady? You wouldn't be around if there weren't men. Women cannot produce people by themselves,
Yeah.
right? Like
That's yeah.
you need the male. And so, anyways, I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but my point that I was trying to get at is that I feel like women aren't taking accountability for not being attracted to good men, right? But here's the other thing that I think is weird is I think it's very important to consider that girls are always looking for tens when they're not a 10. And the reason why that's interesting is because they're not going to get a 10 guy, but if it's not a 10 guy, they're not going to be interested in the 10 guy
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're looking for that 10 guy. And the reason why that is interesting is because in order for a girl to be attracted to a guy, that guy is going to have to be higher up. Girls will say it all they want, but a girl who's a strong, independent woman is not going to be attracted to a guy that hasn't met the exact same things that she's met in life. So if she's got a house and a car, there's a great chance if you don't have a house and a car, you ain't even close. You're not even going to get a chance. Yeah, she might think you're hot for a day or two, but then that attraction is going to leave because she's better off than you. She's got a house, she's got a car, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's kind of interesting is, there's a lot of 5 and 6 guys out there that are really great, and they would fit perfectly for those 5 and 6 girls. But the 5 and 6 girls want the 10 guys. And if they don't get a 10 guy, then guess what? Anybody who's under that 10 guy is not a good man. It's just a basic, not good man because women don't want to admit that a 5 guy that is a really good man is a good man because she's not attracted to him. So it's his fault. He's a bad man,
Well,
not
yeah,
good for me.
honestly, I don't want to sound like a dick here, but I know I'm going to. If a guy's a 5, he's not a good guy. He's really not.
Well,
I don't
that
care
depends.
if you're a nice guy, you're nice to people, you're nice to women. Honestly, most of that is because you're full of shit. you're just trying to gain approval from people. Like you got to, like I said, I'm not joking here. I'm not tooting my own horn here, Phoenix. Like you know who I am. I am not. I don't consider myself a 10 guy at all. Like I'm working towards that, but I'm not. I know because I've been in this mind state. I've been a nice guy almost my entire life. I'll tell you right now, I seek validation from a lot of people. Not anymore. The last year has been absolutely life changing. Ever since my wife left me, it's really made me rethink things. Not to the point where, yeah, it's easy to go down that rabbit hole and say I hate women, fuck women. My wife left me for another man, and it's a very hard thing to go through. But it was life changing. It was very life changing. First, I had my standards were pretty fucking low, but at the same time, I have to acknowledge what I did. I was too nice. I was seeking validation from her and my friends and my family, and these really in masculine qualities that I've had almost all my life, fear of rejection, fear of not being accepted, and all that stuff. That doesn't make me a top tier male. That's not somebody that's going to lead a family to greatness. That just isn't. That just means you're nice and you just don't want to rock the boat with people. But are you going to be able to protect a person or like your family if you're like that? I don't think you can. I don't think you have the stones. And that's what I'm talking about. Like being a nice guy is not really a good thing. And if a woman's like, well, these are good guys and they're fives and sixes. Here's the thing. If a woman is a five or a six, she ain't getting a 10 guy. She's just not. She can want one all she wants. She'll end up being lonely every Valentine's Day because that's just a 10 guy is going for a 10 girl. And I think we can agree on that, Phoenix, that those align. A 10 guy goes for a 10 girl, always. Though, and I've never heard of a 10 guy wanting a 9 or an 8. I think 10 guys who absolutely believe that they're 10 guys and project that they're 10 guys will get 10 girls. That's just the way it works. Now, if these women out there, if they're listening and you're actually a 5, but you think you're a 9 and 10 because you listen to shit on TikTok, like really look at yourself in the mirror. Really look at yourself. And if you're dismissing a guy that's a 5 or a 6, you have every right to. They're not demonstrating qualities of a leader, right? But if you get a solid 7 and they are actually going to like actually think you're good enough, like go for it. Do not try to overreach and go for these guys that are just really not going to treat you with any respect. Because if you're a 5-6 girl and you see a 10 guy, you'll give it up to him on a silver platter. You will, and he will not respect you, right? The 10 women out there, they know that they can get other men, really good men as well. So there's a difference in that dynamic, and I know I'm going off a tangent there, but that's what I fully believe in this whole thing. If you're a 5-6 girl, you have no business going for a 10. Zero business. Get that out of your head. If you're a 5-6 guy, you need to work on yourself to be a 10, or at least get to a 7 or an 8. Because if you're a 5 or 6, you just be comfortable masturbating because that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. That's what I believe in that.
Well, yeah, I know that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit harsh on the wrong side, just because of the fact that simps are going to be one and twos, right? So you could still get women. It doesn't matter what you are on this on the male quality spectrum. But I mean, I think what the interesting thing that I was trying to get at is that as a woman becomes more and more independent, has more and more things going for her,
Hmm.
right? She's gonna think that she's high. So here's the thing. All right, let's just say, forgetting about the looks aspect of what makes a somebody good quality. I think women think that their status, their social status, their monetary status starts raising their numbers up. But in reality, what happens is it actually lowers their number for the good guys. It might raise it for the simps. Hey, a simp would love a woman that could just take care of him. Like, fuck, hey, she's got a house. But I'm saying, so you got a 5 girl and she grows up, she graduates out of high school or university, and she's like, all right, maybe she even recognized she's a 5. And then all of a sudden, all right, well, I got myself my own house. I got myself my own career. I've got like a dog. I've got maybe she's gotten her hands on a cottage for all we know. Right. I don't know, just
Sure.
thinking about things. But here's the thing: is she's going to think that that's automatically going to raise her number to like a 6, a 7, or an 8. But in reality, for guys, right? Guys don't care. Guys don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, you're right.
I could care less about what a woman has produced, as in like in herself. Like, I don't care. You got a job, you don't. Right? Guys, and that's the thing. Guys aren't necessarily looking for that. Unless you're like, okay, so as funny as that sounds, maybe a 10 guy who's like a rich billionaire, millionaire guy is looking for a girl that's like that because he doesn't want to have to worry about fucking paying for her ass. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is, if any everyday regular guy that's just a good guy, like you and me class guys, we meet girls that are like, oh, we got our own house, we got our own car, we got our own careers and stuff. That's not really something that checks my boxes. Like, I'm looking for a traditional woman who you know what I mean? It's is there to complement you as the provider, you provide, because that's how I'm fulfilled. I'm not fulfilled per se by working equally with some girl. Like, yes, you want to have, like, I know that sounds dumb. What I just mean is, if we're both equal and she doesn't really need me and she can just go live on her own, I feel like for me personally, and I think for a lot of men, that's something that doesn't really turn your crank as much because you're not really, I don't know how to explain it. You might as well just get an AI sex doll if you're not really actually there for this
Mhm.
girl. And usually these girls are the ones that won't have any time for you. You guys will both work. You'll never see each other. And yeah, you might end up getting a divorce based on the not being able to have a relationship with each other. Like, there's no excitement, there's no spark because you guys are both equal and you're both trying to do this equal stuff. So all I was trying to get is I think the guy's number, right? Like, I think if a guy's got good qualities, maybe he doesn't make $1 million, maybe he doesn't have a perfect body, but there's a lot of guys that are pretty basic, maybe 4 and 5s that do have good wives, right? There are some women that still can understand the concept of, being a good wife to a guy, but those are kind of a few too far, or a few, whatever the fuck the word I'm looking for is. But in the end, right, I get mad when I see these clips, and these clips are women saying, there's no more good men. Where are they? Where are they hiding? And and then you're
Mhm.
like, well, we're all right here, but why are they not going for you?
Yeah.
And I
Um,
just feel like
mhm.
it's I just feel like they really can't be that blind. They have to literally have some form of understanding that they're not attracted. And I think girls might understand it more than they think. Girls understand that they're not attracted, but they just like, do you know what my point was for this whole thing? When I said accountability was that if girls actually believe that there's no good guys anymore, right? Then that's a pretty sad reality. But I think it's more of girls trying to have this fake role that they've been groomed into to being like feminists and having their own life, that they literally are using the excuse that there's no good men because they're not attracted to men anymore.
They're not because a lot of men aren't making themselves attractive to them. That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you're right on one thing, or you're right on a lot of things, but Phoenix, I think one point I absolutely agree with you is them using their status and their, like I have a house, I have a job, and all that stuff to attract men. Yeah, I agree with you. We do not give a flying fuck about what you have. What we care about is your looks. We want beautiful, gorgeous women who respect us. I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm sure I speak for all men when I say I want a beautiful woman who respects me above everything else, who's going to love me the way I want to be loved. I'm not saying she's going to be my servant. I'm not saying I'm her master. Not that, because there are women who take it to that point. It's woman, like you said, complements you perfectly in a relationship. She's beautiful. She respects you. You work as a team that you lead. That's the big thing here. It's a team that you lead. You are the captain of that team, right? She is your partner in that team, right?
Yeah.
But what you say You are leading the way in that relationship. This is what men are looking for. But she's got to be beautiful. We have to feel like wanting to have sex with her every moment of every day. That's the reality of it. And I hate it. If I'm sorry if there's women listening and they're like, "Oh my God, that's so bad. Like, how can you say that?" Well, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. It's too bad. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't believe that you're beautiful, there are men out there who will believe you're beautiful. All women have men out there that will like them, that want to sleep with them, that want to have relationships with them. Now, are you attracted to that man? Because the men, it's a little more complex for us. We have to be strong. We have to be leaders. We have to be hardworking and responsible. There's a lot of things that we got to do. We can't just sit there and look pretty. Because believe me, if it was about looks, I'd be pulling in eights and nines. Because I look at myself in the mirror. I'm a pretty cute guy. I look at myself. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd fuck me. Absolutely. But it's not about that. I'm not masculine enough. I'm not confident enough. I already know this. And I use stupid things like height. Remember how many times I've used my height as an issue? And you're right. We've talked about this, Phoenix. My height has zero to do with it. It has everything to do with confidence. It has everything to do with fears and anxieties and past traumas. But yeah, for us as men, we only fixate on the looks. That's really what it comes down to. That's what gets you in the door. Are you hot? Now, if you can be hot and be a complete bitch, if you're a complete bitch, what does that tell me? You do not respect me. You will not respect me. Therefore, I have no time for you because I like to call it 80-20. 80% you need to be hot. 20% you need to have a good personality to respect kindness and all that other stuff. I think for men, it's the other way around. It's 20% looks and 80% you got to be confident, charismatic, and a strong leader, responsible, da da da. I like to use the 80-20%, 80-20 rule on that. Um, and when women are out there saying there's no good men, it's because they're not seeing men that fulfill that large part, that 80%. And the ones who do are already married or have women beyond their league, right? Because they're tens. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's all I kind of really wanted to get off my chest today. Well, last few days, I guess, is well, not off my chest, but a good topic I think was talking about this good man thing.
Hmm.
I mean, I end thinking that girls saying there's no, or women saying there's no good men anymore. I honestly believe that what that comes down to is, I think in a lot of cases, I'm going to stick with my guns. I think it's not wanting to take accountability that they are turning away good men, because I think they know. I think they know that, hey, you know what? Deep down, this is a good guy, but I'm not attracted to him, or he doesn't have all the things that the TikTok women tell me he should have. So, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I got to find that TikTok guy that I can show off to all my friends, right?
Yeah.
But I think it does come at a cost that they realize that they might be turning away a good guy.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely the masculinity, yeah, it is on a guy to be more masculine. And here's the problem, right? And the problem is there's too many people, I believe, that are reaching for the stars. Like myself personally, I'm not reaching for 10 women anymore. I don't even think I'm reaching for eights or nines. I think I'm aiming for maybe a seven, because like I know my limit. I know what my limit is. Yeah, there could be this rare gem out there that somehow is a 10. Now, I'm not trying to insult the woman either, but I'm just saying, especially from a looks perspective, I'm
Hmm.
not getting a 10 anymore. I'm not getting a nine. I'm not getting an eight. But I think women still believe that what they want out of a 10, they think they're going to get. They think they're going to get a millionaire that follows that 666 rule or whatever, and that's
Hmm.
what they think they're going to get, and they're constantly trying to get that, and that's what makes it worse. Is I think that if you manage to snag a woman, um and pull her in, and even if everything is going well, I think they're still always going to be trying to find that 10. They're not gonna look at improving their situation. They're gonna always be reaching for that
Hmm.
10. So at any point that they can back out of a commitment they've got, they're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and yeah, and I mean, the last point I just wanted to make was the more independent of a woman you are, the less attracted you're going to be to men in general, and
Hmm.
your range of what you can get is going to increase to the point where maybe you can't get them because you're now at a five level and you're not attracted to anything under five or six. Therefore, you're only attracted to nine and tens, and you're not getting those. So you're going to be unhappy forever, saying there's no good men. So that's my last thing that I want to say because we'll have to wrap this thing up. But what's your last thoughts?
Well, my last thoughts it's I'm going to stick to my guns too. I think for a man, if you feel like you're a 5 or 6, if women aren't respecting you, work on yourself. If you have to go through therapy, if you have to go through a life coach, dating coach, whatever you got to do it. Dress better, look better, do what you can to prop yourself up. As for the women, if you're a 5 or 6 and you think you're a 9 or 10, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to tell you there. Maybe ask some guy friends what they actually think, not the simps, because they're always going to say yes. Um, yeah, I think for women in general, it's not hard to get a guy to have sex with them. They don't think this is a matter of sex. They're looking for a guy that they can have actually a family with, have a relationship with. And if they're shooting for the stars, if you haven't landed a 10 by now, maybe just look for a guy who's a strong enough man who can lead you and provide for you, who's not going to give you the mansion in the fancy sports car and all that. Because if you think you're that kind of quality of woman, then ask yourself, are you on the cover of Vogue magazine? Are you a fucking top supermodel right now? Because those are the girls that are getting those guys.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna listen to the shit on TikTok, then whatever. I wish you the best. But don't be surprised if you're never gonna find a good guy down the road. And it's about. I really think if you find a guy that's masculine, I don't think it really matters if he's a fucking janitor or if he's a like the guy who works at Dollarama or whatever. I'm not to discredit those people, but I'm just saying because I was a security guard and I got discredited as being a security guard. A lot of women looked at me, what I did at the time, and they're like, "Oh, you're a loser because you're a security guard," which still doesn't like really fucking weird because that really demonstrates provider or protector, I think, above anything else. But whatever. There's a regular negative stigma with certain jobs. But anyway, even if a guy still demonstrates strong qualities as a man, there's no reason why you shouldn't be attracted to him. But if you're holding out for the guy that's 6 feet tall, makes six figures, and has all these things, well, let me tell you, honey, if you haven't found him by now, it's because you're just simply not good enough to land a guy like that. That's just the bottom line. So maybe you need to start looking within. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm just not hot enough. Because believe me, the girls who are hot enough do get those guys. They absolutely get those guys. And that's well, I'll end with that on.
Yeah, no, and that's perfect. I think it makes total sense. Well, I appreciate you managing to make it in. I did
Yeah,
like
no worries.
20 minutes by myself earlier, or 10 to 15 minutes, whatever it was. I tried to add you, so I don't know. I might cut some of that out and add it if I can. But no, I appreciate it. Well, thanks everybody for listening. I hope you had a good time, and I hope I can fix the audio. You kind of sounded echoey at times, but I don't know what the problem was. Could just be my phone. Hopefully, it recorded properly.
Yeah, no
But
worries.
anyways, yeah, man, you have yourself a great night, and thanks for joining in there.
Yeah, no worries.